Welcome back to day 15 of our 30-day mindset shift challenge. And today we are going to talk about putting your money where your goals are. So yesterday we did a little a pause, a little reset and a little reflection yesterday. And we spoke a little bit about it yesterday, but today we're going to get into it just a little bit. And I wanted to make this a two-part session, which is why we didn't go in depth yesterday, because I know that when we start talking about credit and finances, we get a little bit defensive, right? We get a little bit defensive. So I want to break it down. I just want to help you. So sometimes it takes this, right? And remember, this is just you sitting there by yourself, just going through these steps by yourself, or if you chose to do it with someone else, then that's your prerogative. But it's definitely necessary for your process. So your spending should support the life you're trying to build. Yesterday, I asked if I followed you around for 14 days, what your habits, without you saying anything, what your habits tell me where you're headed. Okay, so the purpose of today isn't to make you feel guilty about spending money, right? We all do, myself included. But it's to get you to examine whether your financial behavior agrees with the future that you keep saying you want. You keep saying it. Right? So remember, it's your steering wheel. If I looked at your bank statement but never heard you tell me your goal, what would I think was important to you? We say we want to start buying a home or buying a business and all the things that we've been talking about these past 15 or 14 days, right? Investing and building an emergency fund and help our children or build generational wealth or whatever it is that you want to do. Is any of your money actually going toward it? Your bank statement tells a story, right? So your bank statement isn't just a list of transactions. It's a record of your decisions. So don't immediately categorize something or those decisions as good or bad. I don't want you to do that. It's not a good or bad. Instead, I want you to just ask yourself, what story are my transactions telling? That's it. What story are my transactions telling? Is it saying that you value convenience? Is it saying that you spend money when you're stressed, right? Me? I don't plan for irregular expenses. I take care of everybody before taking care of my own obligations. I say I'm building a business, but I've invested nothing into building it. I want financial security, but I haven't started saving. This isn't about shame. It's about awareness, because you can't change a financial pattern you're unwilling to look at. There's a difference between being able to buy it and being able to afford it. Having enough money in your account to complete the transaction does not automatically mean you can afford the purchase. So if I have $500 and something costs $400, technically the transaction will go through. But what does the remaining $100 need to do? Until I get paid again, the rest of that $100 need to do what? Is it rent, utilities, food, gas, savings, debt, business expenses? What is it? Because now you've already spent that for. Affordability isn't just asking, do I have the money? It's asking, what is this money already assigned to do? Every dollar you have should be assigned to something. Every dollar has an opportunity cost. So when you tell one thing yes with your money, you're potentially telling something else no, right? Not always, but potentially. That $100 could become dinner and entertainment for today, right? Or that $100 can go towards your emergency fund. It could become another pair of shoes, or a business registration, marketing, education. It could become an impulse purchase or an investment toward a long-term goal. Neither example automatically tells someone that what they should choose, right? It doesn't tell, oh, I should do this over this. No, it's a personal decision. What matters most to you, where you're going, what direction are you headed? That's what matters. So does this choice agree with what I say matters to me? Stop calling everything a reward, Shy. How many times have you said, and I'll be honest and say I've said it a numerous amount of times. So how many times have you said, I deserve it? I work hard. I've had a rough week. It's only $20. I'll replace the money next payday. I'm treating myself. You absolutely deserve to enjoy your money, but your future deserves something too, okay? So I've been guilty of all of these things, but I had to start prioritizing my future instead of my now. So I had to start practicing a little delayed gratification for the moment. Not to say I didn't deserve it, but I know the future me deserves it too. It's going to become a time where I'm ready to sit down and just enjoy the rest of my life. So I need to do well with what I have right now in order to do that. But that's the balance, right? You don't want you don't want to feel bad about making purchases, but make sure you're mindful when you do. And make sure it makes sense for you, regardless to feelings. Take feelings out of it, because feelings will have you broke. Okay? Don't buy coffee. Don't have fun. Don't spend anything. That's not the message I'm trying to put out there. I'm not trying to put that message out there at all. Enjoyment can have a place in your financial plan without consuming your financial plan, okay? So all you have to do is budget for it. So when you do your budget, and this is how much I need for lights, this is how much I need for water, this is how much I need for food, and your rent and gas and more mortgage, car note, whatever you have going on, make sure you also include a budget for miscellaneous, emergency, myself time, right? Whatever that looks like for you, just budget it. So you can buy all of that. You can have all of that, your daily coffee runs or whatever it is that you like to do to satisfy you or make you and relax for yourself. You can do that. Just make sure you budget for it and don't blow the budget. So we want to make sure we're identifying your financial leaks. That's a big one. Where is the money quietly leaving your life? Not necessarily huge purchases, right? So maybe it's subscriptions you forgot about. I had a bunch of those. Delivery fees, convenience store purchases. How often are you going to the convenience store? Is it every single day? Are you just buying stuff? Are you buying extra stuff while you're in there? Late fees, overdraft fees, impulse shopping, unused memberships, that gym membership. Constant small transfers, right? You're just transferring a little bit. Well, I did good putting away and saving last month, so I'm just going to transfer $50. That's not that much. Small doesn't mean insignificant when small keeps repeating. So if you, just because it's a little bit doesn't mean that, you know, it's insignificant to your destination where you're trying to go, because how frequently are you doing that? A $10 decision isn't necessarily the problem. It's a repeated financial pattern that may be the problem, okay? So your goals need a line item. Whatever it is, it needs a line item. Where does your goal appear in your budget? If you say you want to start a business, where's the business fund? If you want to buy a home, where's the home ownership fund? If you want emergency fund, where's the automatic transfer over to your emergency fund when you get paid? I want to invest. Where's the investment contribution? I want to go back to school. Where's the education fund? If the goal matters, eventually it needs somewhere for the money to go. It doesn't have to start with $500. It could start with 5, 10, 25, 50, however much you have, whatever you can do, whatever feasible for you at that time. You're building the behavior. That's what I want you to focus on. It's the behavior, not necessarily the dollar amount. It's that behavior, and that is a learned behavior. It doesn't matter whether you were taught it or not. You can learn it now. Give your future self a bill, right? I'm a bill for myself in the future. I know what I want my future to look like. So I have to pay myself. I have to pay my future self. I have to pay my future self. You pay the electric company. You pay the phone company. You pay the mortgage, you pay the landlord, you pay your car company, you pay everybody who sends you a bill. When does your future get paid? That's my question to you today. I know it's getting real personal. I know it is, but just bear with me. I promise it's tight, but it's right, okay? Create a recurring amount specifically connected to a goal, even if it's $5 every Friday. Now your future has become one of your financial obligations. Stop giving your future whatever happens to be left over. I'm going to pay this, and that. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and then whatever I have left, then that's what I'll contribute. I was speaking with an older couple once before. They were like in their 80s. They were retired, and I asked them one piece of advice that they would give to the younger generation. And the advice it was, invest in you first. I've taken that advice with me every single day. Now, not always lived it ever since then. I try to now more so, but even now I still slip up from time to time, and I have to catch myself. I've bought a few things that was impulse purchases here recently, and that I politely went back, and now I had to take it back. And I'm not one that like taking things back, but I had to realize that was not a necessity. You don't need that. Okay, I got a flyer yesterday from a guy that was passing out flyers from a new thrift shop that opened up. And I'm not going. I threw it away because I know that there's a 0% chance that I'm going to walk in that thrift shop, look around, and walk out with nothing. I'm probably going to walk out with something I do not need. So I'm not going. I don't need anything now. So why do I need to go there? I don't need to window shop. It's too enticing for me. Okay. So don't wait until your money make more money to practice stewardship. Somebody may say, when I start making more money, then I'll budget. When I get a raise, then I'll save. When my business takes off, then I'll invest. More money doesn't automatically create better money habits. So it's best to start the habit now, because if you don't start the habit, you can make more money, but it's going to go out the window just like the money you're making right now, because it's the habit you haven't built. It's the mindset you haven't changed. You haven't changed how you view money. Okay, so money doesn't automatically create better money habits. The amount may change later. The behavior can begin now. So if you learn to intentionally manage $500, you're developing skills you'll need when you're managing $5,000. That makes sense? Good. What's holding me in park, right? What spending habit is competing with something I say I want? Pay attention to that. Pull your bank statement. It's scary, isn't it? Pull that bank statement for the past 3 months. It'll tell you. You don't have to think too hard. It'll tell you. Take a highlighter and highlight everything you did not need. Everything you bought that you don't even use. Some stuff you bought you haven't even opened up yet. Okay? So, what am I spending? Why am I spending it? What goal could that money support instead? Notice that this isn't what should I never buy again, right? So we're looking for alignment, not punishment. My next turn, the $25 shift. So find $25. When you look through that bank statement, I want you to find $25 that you could have saved that you did not necessarily need to spend. Not earn another $25, just $25 that you've already spent that you didn't necessarily need to spend, that you could have saved there. You could have redirected that money. And then for the next month, I want you to redirect that same $25 that you already spent. Review your recent transaction. And when you find that $25, redirect it for an emergency savings, a debt, a business, or whatever it is that you need, that you're saying you want to go, redirect it to that fund. My future self fund. If you don't have anything right now, name it my future self fund. Okay. And if you don't have $25, if that isn't realistic for you, then do 5 or 10 or whatever's realistic for you. I don't care if it's $1, right? It's the habit that we're forming that we want to stick to. Where was it going before? So write this down, because I'm telling you, you're going to laugh at yourself. Where was it going before? Where will it go now? And what goal does that support? Okay. Now you've shifted, you've physically shifted your money toward the destination. Okay. And so you'll be able to see that and reflect on it. And then months go by, then you'll look back like, wow, I remember where this was in the negatives, or this was at 0. And now look, I stayed consistent. And I did what I said I was going to do. And I made sure my money was headed the same direction as me. You don't want to be on the freeway going this way and your money take an exit because it saw something shiny. So you going this way and your money went that way. It's just not going to work out. Okay. Stop negotiating with yourself. I know we touched bases on that a little bit before, but I had to bring that back. Stop negotiating with yourself. right? Sometimes I like to negotiate with myself, which is why I'm not going to that thrift store, because I know once I get in there, I'm going to find something and make myself believe I need it for some reason. I will do that internally, right? Nobody, of course, not going to hear me, but I'm going to do that internally. I'm going to make sure I know that I need it and why I need it. I know myself. That's why I'm not going to do it. We talked about those contingency plans, right? Those what if then plans, right? Those if then. So instead of asking every payday, should I save? We talked about this too. Make it a standard. Make it a standard. Every time money comes in, something goes toward my future. I'm going to invest in me first. Every time money comes in, I'm invested in me. I'm invested in my future. My future self's going to thank me, and I'm going to love my future self forward, okay? My future self's going to love me forward. So now we've moved from motivation to a financial system. So now we've entered a financial system, day 15. So we're going to bring it back to our framework, right? P, prayed. What financial future have I been praying for? R, responded. Do my financial decisions reflect the direction I've received? N, never cease. Can I continue making intentional choices even when the amount feels small? D, driving. What financial action am I taking today? You can't pray for one financial destination while consistently spending toward another one. I'm praying to go here, but I'm spending over there, or I'm spending over here. Or I've turned around and went back because I saw something that I liked and I didn't get it when I wanted it, but I'm going to go ahead and get it now because it's been weighing heavy on me. It needs to align, okay? If you manage $10 correctly, does that mean God owe you $10,000? No, it doesn't. Stewardship matters regardless of the amount. And Luke 16:10 talks about stewardship, being a good steward over what you have. We talked about this too, right? What's in your hands already. Do well with what God has already placed in your hands. If you do well with a little, he'll give you a lot. It doesn't mean that because you manage $10, he's going to give you 10,000, right? But stewardship does matter regardless of the amount. Sometimes we're so focused on asking God for more that we never stop to examine what we're doing, what we already have. We talked about that, so I'm not gonna run it in the ground. But that does bring us to our declaration for today. Day 15 declaration is, my money will begin supporting the future I say I want. I'm not asking you to become wealthy today. I'm not asking you to stop enjoying life. I'm asking you to look at your money and make sure some of it is headed toward the same destination you are. Your goal needs to move, your goal needs more than a vision board. It needs to move in the same direction that you're moving. Give it a line item. On your bank statement, give it a line item. All right? When you see electric company, mortgage, car note, all of that, your future self is also a line item. Pay your future. Shift the money, shift the habit, and shift the direction. We're all doing this together. I'm doing this with you all. I told you, I'm not exactly where I want to be right now either. I'm doing this with you all, okay? And we're going to get out of it together. I have learned a lot along the way that I'm more than willing to share with you all. And I know the principles work. I know what I've been doing have been working, which is why I've written books, and I'm continuously writing books to put the rest of the information there. But your future self is just as important as any other bill, so it should be a line item, okay? Put your money where your goals are and keep driving. See you tomorrow.